ישר כוחכם. ישר כוח. ישר כוח. ישר כוחכם. You may be seated now. I can't help but think that the reminder not to make too many vows is in the most beautiful, beautiful form when it comes to Kol Nidre. There's nothing like it. We're welcoming to the Bima this evening Deborah Risch, who is co-parent association president of the ECC. Deborah and Reuben have 2 daughters, Eliana in the JLC and Gabriella in the ECC. She's a member of the board and an active volunteer in the Adat community. We welcome Deborah Risch this evening. Do you want to go down here? Sorry.
Good evening. I'm going to take this. Good evening. No? Lower. No, it's fine. Thank you. Good evening. To those of you who I have not yet met, my name is Deborah Risch, and I am the co-president of the Parent Association here at the Early Childhood Center and a board member of Adat Ariel. My husband, Reuven, and I are products of very similar, yet very different upbringings. I'm from an Ashkenazi family. He is a very proud Sephardi. I'm from the East Coast, and he grew up in Santa Monica. Yet, we are both the grandchildren of survivors. I am the granddaughter of those who fought in the partisans during World War II, moving to the US after the war, and settling in a shtetl of their own making in New Jersey. Reuven's family trekked, literally, from the city of Herat in Afghanistan to Israel for their own personal safety and religious freedom following the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. When we decided to marry, one thing we knew that we both shared and desired was to instill in our future children a strong sense of pride and appreciation for their heritage and traditions. Fast forward a few years, Anna moved to the Valley from the West Side, and we made one of the most important and fateful decisions of our lives, to choose Adat Ariel as our community and the preschool for our children. Through one child's completion of the preschool and another just beginning in the nest, we have found a true home and that has welcomed our family and given 2 people who come from very traditional Jewish backgrounds the opportunity to explore Judaism through a new lens while still holding on to the values that are important to us. Adat has truly given us more than we could have imagined. A community that has supported us, cheered for us, and held us up through challenging times. To give you a glimpse, last November, our daughter Gabriella was diagnosed with RSV at 7 weeks of age. Gabby was quickly admitted to Children's Hospital during a nationwide surge of COVID, flu, and RSV. The hospital staff was overwhelmed and completely exhausted. I made mention of the situation to our class chat, just to let everyone know in the case that they saw my older daughter, Eliana, in passing. Almost immediately, parents in the class sent me names of doctors that they had relationships with at Children's and connected me to other parents around the country that were going through the same thing. Those connections were truly invaluable for us. They were my lifeline at 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep and I needed someone to talk to. When they saw my daughter on campus, they gave her hugs and they sent me photos because I barely saw her while I was with Gabriella in the hospital. They calmed her fears when she expressed concern about her brand new baby being in the hospital. Gabby was, thank God, discharged on a Saturday night, and Eliana's birthday party was planned for Sunday morning. They picked up cakes, they helped with setup and cleanup, and quite literally held me up so that I could celebrate with Eliana, despite not having slept in days. But most importantly, this community has shown our children, the great-grandchildren of those who fought and endured so much, that being Jewish and being an active member of the Jewish community is never something to hide, but instead to be cherished and to be celebrated. We have been able to introduce our children and countless others to our traditions, to the shofar, to homemade latkes, and hand-braided challah each week. Whether you choose to eat the things made by those small hands, that's your decision. But the incredible teachers and administration here at Adat have enabled them and filled them with pride as they craft their creations. Tonight, I'm asking each of you to join me in giving back to Adat what it has given to my family and to so many others in this community. Through your support, we will be able to strengthen and expand upon our offerings for future and existing members to develop a deeper connection to our traditions and our culture. We'll be able to ensure that as the world outside changes and evolves, that we are able to retain the customs that we all hold dear. And together, we'll be able to continue to build what generations before us could have only dreamt of: a vibrant, progressive, welcoming, and enduring Jewish home for our amazing East Valley community. Thank you in advance for your pledge, which can be done by folding the tab on your ticket and placing it in the white envelope inside your machzorim. A staff member or usher will be by to collect them. I look forward, together, to taking Adat Ariel from strength to strength. Wishing each of you a Gamar Chatima Tova.
For painting such a beautiful picture of our community from her perspective. And there should be people at the door. I know that Jim and Peter are there a lot of the time, but if you want to turn down the tab tonight and you don't find somebody at the door, you can grab one of us, one of the staff people who are here. And we thank you all for considering helping to build this incredible community. And thank you so much to Deborah Rich for being here and speaking tonight. We're going to turn now to page 207 as we rise for the Baruchu and the beginning of the Maariv service.
Yai la lai 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 hai lai lai hai lai 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 lai
Baruch atah Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn. whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky. Join with me, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
Umavir yom umevi laila umavtil ben yom uben laila Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Baruch shemo
In just a moment, we'll be doing Ahavat Olam at the top of page 208, but we want to let you know that we're going to begin a series of music during this part of the service that was written by our own Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Moshe Rothblum. So those of you who have been here for a long time might recognize some of those pieces, and hopefully everybody who's just here for the first time will enjoy the incredible power that he has in creating music. In addition to that, I want to remind you that this being Yom Kippur, after we get done with Shema, don't forget to participate with us in Baruch Shem Kavod on page 208.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kibishmati otanu limadta Tasir mimenu li'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Lai la lai 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 ושתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We'll continue silently through near the bottom of page 209.
Adonai Elohechem emet. Emet v'emunah, emet v'emunah, emet v'emunah How's everyone singing?
Awesome.
Yeah. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך אלוהים אדוני מי כמוך מלך הקודש נורות תהילות מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני יברך לעולם ונאמר כי פודה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני ברוך שמו la
turn now to page 211 and read together in English the Hashkivenu before hearing once again the Hashkivenu prayer in a composition done by our Rabbi Rothblum. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully and to waken again to life, our sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace, restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us, remove from us enemies and pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow, and remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you are the sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us and over all the people Israel and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu, malekenu, l'chaim, ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha, v'taknenu, be'etza tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu, le'ma'an shemecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu, malekenu, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני. הקורא סוכת שלום עלינו, ויעל כל עמו ישראל,
Rabbi Rothblum, would you do us the favor of just standing up for a moment so we can all see who composed the music that has led us up to this?
When Rabbi Alexander called upon Rabbi Rothblum, I thought she was bumping me for my sermon slot. Rabbi Rothblum, you got anything? You're good, okay. That sounds great. Maybe that one.
No, you're Jewish. Okay. I bring greetings from Kol Nidre under the stars, which is located in the LeBeau Outdoor Chapel. And it's this beautiful gathering of different members of our... I'm going to turn this one off. All right, let's try that. All right. Someone gave me I got a little applause. I can go home and tell my wife that I'm getting an applause for the sermon before I even gave it. Speaking of home, I want to tell you about my childhood home. At my childhood home, there was a large carpeted area by the stairs to a rarely used third floor. Far removed from the daily home traffic, that landing became my sister and my play area. Without fear of being in the way of adults, my Star Wars action figures and my sister's Barbie dream house dominated that carpeted terrain. The only problem was that there wasn't quite enough room for my sister and I to play at the same time. So when my sister's flash dance inspired dance party featuring Barbie and Ken interrupted Luke Skywalker's secret raid on the Death Star to avoid World War III, my sister and I went to seek Yoda-like counsel from my mother. Barbie and Luke Skywalker can team up, she offered, attempting to preserve third floor play area peace. It wasn't really a suggestion. If I wanted to save the universe from Darth Vader, I needed to make room for Barbie. Resigned to the new reality, I popped off the plastic top off the Millennium Falcon, tossed Chewbacca aside, and stuffed Barbie aboard. But I couldn't get Barbie's long, thin legs to contort enough to get her fully inside. I had to face a hard truth. The Millennium Falcon couldn't make its jump to hyperspace with Barbie's large top, thin neck, and flowing golden locks hanging out of the ship. Why can't Barbie be more like Chewbacca? I grumbled. Why couldn't Barbie be more like Chewbacca? Only an 8-year-old boy could think like that. My antipathy towards Barbie's perfection grew by the moment, until no longer able to take it, I conceded the third floor to my sister and walked a block over to my friend's house. He got a Commodore 64 for Christmas that year, and there wasn't a whiff of Barbie in the playroom that he shared with his brother. After my sister and I grew out of our third-floor play area space, I never thought much about Barbie until I saw the movie a few weeks ago. And in the movie, I learned that Barbie is actually a lot like Chewbacca. Clearly flawed and totally lovable. In a sense, we're all like that. And if we can get to that place spiritually, that's where we can begin to find true blessing in life. And that's what this sermon is all about. Remember at the beginning of the movie, everything is seemingly perfect for Barbie. Dua Lipa sings her heart out to a fully choreographed dance number, while all the numerous Barbies and Kens proclaim that today is the best day ever, and so is yesterday, and so is tomorrow. Out of nowhere, Barbie blurts out, "You guys ever think about dying?" From the moment of that awakening, all the gloss of Barbie's world loses its luster. Barbie's feet flatten. She even discovers cellulite. Shaken to the core, Barbie seeks wise counsel, where she is presented with a sparkling high-heel shoe and a plain Birkenstock sandal. You can choose, she's told. It's a choice between perfect naivete or seeking truth with all its complexity and problems. Reluctantly, Barbie chooses to go on a journey to pursue truth. Barbie's awakening and subsequent journey mirrors what the writer Joseph Campbell calls the monomyth of the hero. According to Campbell, a sheltered hero, shielded from the rough realities of life, gains a glimpse of the real world beyond their existence. Barbie's discovery of her cellulite and flat feet is the same type of realization that Abraham, when he realized the fallacy of paganism. It's the same type of awakening experienced by Moses when he saw the abuse the Israelites suffered at the hands of the Egyptians. And like Abraham, who was told, Lech Lecha, go to the promised land, or Moses, who took flight from Pharaoh's palace where he was raised, Barbie also goes on a journey. With her car stereo blaring the Indigo Girls, Barbie sets out from Barbie world. According to Campbell's explanation of the monomyth, on this journey, the hero experiences a wound and the real problem is finally revealed. This is true for Barbie. Before setting out on her journey, Barbie thought her existence had shaped the real world as a place where women and girls could do anything and be anyone. Barbie believed that when children in the real world began to play with her, it inspired worldwide happiness and full gender equality. But much to her shock, the real world is much rougher than she anticipated. And she realizes that she is in fact, despite in addition to all the good, she is also the source of unrealistic physical ideals, sexualized capitalism, and rampant consumerism. This is what Joseph Campbell would identify as her real problem. And it's a lot for Barbie to swallow. The film resonates with audiences because Barbie needs to come to terms with the realities of brokenness and limitations. and that's true for us as well. America Ferrera's character, who plays a Mattel employee and a mother, helps Barbie and reminds us all of the reality of life. There are unsolvable contradictions and difficulties in our lives. And often, living successfully is not about overcoming and achieving as much as it is about accepting and enduring. There will always be cellulite on our thighs, or for men, increasingly large bald spots on our heads. More important than the physical, spiritually, we will all feel pain from the countless times we trip up while trying to climb up the ladder of life. Along the meandering path of our time on earth is a trail of failures, pain, and misjudgments. That's what it means to be human. In a sense, we are all like the perennial afterthought of Barbie world, Ken. In the movie, Ken only finds contentment when he realizes that despite his limitations, he is enough. He can be both Ken, riddled with limitations, and enough at the same time. He can be Knuff. The same is true for us. We can never be happy until we know that we are Knuff. Learning we are Knuff, it's an important lesson, one that Franciscan priest and acclaimed author Richard Rohr would call the first half of our lives. According to Rohr in his book, Falling Upward, in the first half of our lives, we are dedicated to achieving, overcoming, and ascending. And of course, we fall. When we achieve acceptance of our limitations and failures, when we realize we are Knuff, then we are able to move ahead to the second half of life. And it's here, in the second half of life, not despite our wounds, but because of them, we are ironically able to achieve new heights of fulfillment. That is the essence of falling upward. By failing, by having wounds and pain, we are lifted to a new height of spiritual maturity where we can find true contentment. Towards the end of his book, Rohr sums it up. What looks like falling can largely be experienced as falling upward and onward into a broader and deeper world where the soul has found its fullness. It's not a loss, but somehow a gain. Not losing, but actually winning. The journey from the false confidence of Barbie world perfection to the realization that despite our imperfections, we are Knuff, to allowing our failures and limitations propel us into the second half of life where we fall upward. This is the spiritual trajectory of Yom Kippur. With the sugary sweet taste of apples and honeys still on our lips, we set out on the journey of the monomyth of the hero. Like Barbie, the harsh and direct Yom Kippur prayers force us to face the reality of our shortcomings, failures, and limitations. While dark and absent of the celebration usually found in Jewish prayers, the liturgy doesn't give up on us. Bearing the imperfections of our souls, we ask, or almost demand to be written in the metaphorical book of life, the Sefer Chaim. At that moment, we're all like Ken, proclaiming we are Kanaf. We are Kanaf to merit inscription in the book of life. And as the day begins to fade, the mood of the day seems to shift, becoming a little lighter, a little less overwhelming. Instead of allowing our imperfections and failures to bring us down, we find contentment in our imperfections, falling upward into the coming year. And if we successfully navigate the spiritual journey of Yom Kippur, the coming days, months, and years become our second half of life, characterized by what Rohr proclaims is a sober happiness. For in the second half of life, we feel a much deeper lightness or okayness. This is why, according to our tradition, at the time of the Second Temple, at seemingly the most unlikely of times, on Yom Kippur afternoon, a communal dance took place in the fields of Jerusalem, with the women dancing in flowing white dresses as the sun descended in the distance. At this dance, people met, couples formed, and marriages were made. Because only on Yom Kippur, after the journey of the monomyth of the hero, where we strip off the shiny veneers of our lives, followed by the acceptance of self, are two individuals ready to fall upward through life together. Falling upward in life. For Greta Gerwig, the Christian filmmaker behind the Barbie movie, that began, ironically enough, at Shabbat dinner. In a New York Times Magazine interview, Gerwig revealed that her family's closest friends were observant Jews, and she was a regular at the family's weekly Shabbat dinner. At those dinners, Gerwig distinctly remembers Birkat Kohanim, the blessing offered to children, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, and how the parents would also offer her a blessing together with their own children. I remember feeling the sense of whatever your wins and losses were for the week, whatever you did or didn't do, when you come to this table, your value has nothing to do with that. You are a child of God. I put my hand over you and I bless you as a child of God at this table. And that's your value. When going to the Barbie movie, Gerwig continued, I want people to feel like I did at Shabbat dinner. I want them to get blessed. Today on Yom Kippur, with our mouths filled with words of regret as our hands beat against our chests, may our confrontation with our own imperfections inspire us to take a spiritual journey beyond the false securities of Barbie land naivete. As we each face the many ways we have failed, may the missteps of our past and recognition of the limitations of life help us step towards the future. This year, may we move to a second half of life, knowing that no matter how far we have fallen or how high we can climb, we can all fall upward in life, comforted knowing that we are Kanaf. Gamar Chatima Tova.
In just a moment, we will begin the silent Amidah on pages 213 to 221. But right now we're on page 212 as we rise for Ki v'Yom Hazeh and the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ביעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא ולעילא מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונעמתה דמירן ביומא ויאמרו אמן.
In just a moment, we're going to participate in the beautiful piyut Ya'aleh. I recently found something written by a soldier named Alan Israel. During basic training, he said, our drill sergeant asked all the Jewish personnel to stand up. 6 of us tentatively rose from our seats. Much to our relief, we were given the days off for Rosh Hashanah. A few days later, in anticipation of Yom Kippur, the sergeant, who didn't yet know all of us that well yet, again apologetically asked us to stand up and identify ourselves. This time, just about every soldier rose from their chairs. The sergeant looked around and said, only those who were Jewish last week can be Jewish this week. So we're ready to hear and pray this beautiful, beautiful Yom Kippur piyut, Ya'aleh. And Ya'aleh means to rise up. Tonight at Kol Nidre, we rise up physically and spiritually many, many times. When we do that, we first of all affirm that we are present, that we're here. Then we say, we are here as children of God. And then we're here because we are proud Jews. May we rise up not only to engage in personal transformation, but also affirmation throughout all these hours of Yom Kippur. Once again, Ya'aleh, page 223.
Ya'aleh tachanunenu me'erev ve'yavo shavateinu miboker ve'yera erinunenu ad arev. Viva ויעלה לקראתנו מהלב, ויבוא אליך בבוקר, וירא אלינו הערב, וירא אלינו הערב.
We continue on page 225, Haneshama Lach.
הנשמה לך והגוף פה לך, חוסה חוסה על המלאך. הנשמה לך והגוף שלך, אדוני יעשה למען שמך, עטנו על שמך, אדוני עשה למען שמך, בעבור כבוד שמך, כי אל חנון, כי אל חנון ורחום שמך, למען שמך, אדוני, וסלחת לעווננו, כי רב הוא. הנשמה לך והגוף פה לך, חוסה חוסה על המלאך.
We turn now to page 229 for a piyut that we can kind of see as we're doing it, which starts that we are clay in the hand of the potter. So we're going to do this alternatively with Hebrew, English, and we'll start with the cantor on the first paragraph on page 227.
כי הנה כך אומר ביד היוצר, ברצותו מרחיב וברצותו מקצר, כן אנחנו בידך חסד נוצר, לברית הבית ועל תפן ליצר.
Together as stone in the hand of the mason who preserves or breaks it at will, so are we in your hand, God of life and death. Recall your covenant. Do not heed the accuser.
Let's all sing the chorus together. It's in transliteration also in the red on page 227. La Brit Habet. La Brit Habet ve'al tefen la'yetzer. Ki hinei kach gamzen biyadecha rash. Birzoto tibek la'ur uvirzoto perash. כן אנחנו בידך, תומך אני מרש, לברית הבית ועל תפן ליצר.
As the helm in the hand of the sailor who holds the course or abandons it at will, so are we in your hand, good and forgiving God. Recall your covenant. Do not heed the accuser.
לברית הבית ועל תפן ליצר, כי הנה כזכוכית ביד
As cloth in the hand of the draper who drapes or twists it at will, so are we in your hand, righteous God. Recall your covenant. Do not heed the accuser. Continue on page 229, El Melech Yoshev al Kisei Rachamim.
El Melech Yoshev, El Melech Yoshev, Al Kisei Rachamim, Al Kisei Rachamim.
Mitnaheg b'chasidut, mochel avonot amo. Mitnaheg b'chasidut, mochel avonot amo.
Ma'avir Rishon, Ma'avir Rishon, Ma'avir Rishon, Ma'avir Rishon,
Marve mechila, mechila lechatayim, uselicha
Lavoshim, Lavoshim, Uselicha Lavoshim, Lavoshim, Oset dakot im kol basar varuach, velo cheratam tigmol.
Oset tzedakot im kol basar varuach velo cheratam tigmol. וירד אדוני בענן, יצא מושם, כי מושם Vayikra, 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 Vayikra V'Shem Adonai. Vayavor Adonai al panav, Vayikra.
Everybody together.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum, El Hanun, El Haparim, V'Chesed, V'Yemet, Notzel Chesed, V'Latim, Nosei Avod, V'Resha, V'Chata, V'Nakem. V'Salachta l'avonenu l'chatatenu, U'nechaltanu. Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu, Mechalanu makenu ki fashanu. Ki ata Adonai tov v'salach, V'rav chesed lechol kornecha.
In the middle of the page in English, there is the part of the recitation of the 13 attributes of God. And while we look at them, read them together, let's take a look and see that all of these attributes are one in which God is compassionate and there for us and loving us. So when we are here throughout Yom Kippur and we're constantly saying our shortcomings, it's not because God wants to make a decision about us. That's not what it's about. It's about us making decisions for ourselves. But God is always there with love. Let's read together where it says, and Adonai passed, right there in the middle of the page. And Adonai passed before him and called, Adonai, Adonai, God merciful and compassionate, patient, abounding in love and faithfulness, assuring love for thousands of generations, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, and granting pardon. We're on page 232.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum V'Chanun, Erech וסלחת על עווננו לחטאתנו ונחתנו. סלח נא על עוונם הזה כגודל חסדך, וכאשר נשאת אליהם הזה ממצרים ויד הנה, ושם נאמר, ויאמר אדוני, סלחתי כדבריך.
I found this story amongst a compilation of Indian anecdotes, and I thought that maybe you would appreciate it too. A voyaging ship was wrecked during a storm at sea, and only 2 of the men on it were able to swim to a small desert-like island. The 2 survivors who had been good friends, not knowing what else to do, agreed that they had no other recourse but to pray to God. However, being somewhat competitive, they decided to find out whose prayer was more powerful. So they agreed to divide the territory between them and stay on opposite sides of the island. The first thing they prayed for was food. The next morning, the first man saw a fruit-bearing tree on his side of the island, and he was able to eat its fruit. The other man's parcel of land remained barren. After a week, the first man was lonely, and he decided to pray for a partner. The next day, another ship was wrecked, and the only survivor was a woman who swam to his side of the land. On the other side of the island, nothing. Soon the man prayed for a structure to live in, for some clothes, some more food, and the next day, like magic, all of these were given to him. However, the second man still had nothing. Finally, the first man prayed for a ship so that he and the woman could leave the island. In the morning, he found a ship docked at his side of the island. The first man boarded the ship and decided to leave the second man on the island because he considered the other man unworthy to receive God's blessings since none of his prayers had been answered. As the ship was about to leave, the first man heard a voice from heaven booming, "Why are you leaving your companion on the island?" "My blessings are mine alone, since I was the one who prayed for them," the first man answered. "His prayers were all unanswered, and so he doesn't deserve anything." "You are mistaken," the voice rebuked him. "He had only one prayer, which I answered. If not for that, you would not have received any of my blessings." "Tell me," the first man asked the voice, "what did he pray for that I should owe him anything?" "He prayed that all your prayers be answered." We continue with Shema Kolenu. Hear our voice, God. Our voices need to be able to resonate not only with thinking about the things that we have done or hope to do, or the feelings that we have about the year that passed, but to resonate also with how we can embrace one another in community. Shema Kolenu. We'll rise.
Shema, Shema, Shema.
Shema, Shema, Shema
We continue now on page 234 at the top.
Eloheinu v'Eloi Avotenu v'Imotenu selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu ki anu amecha li'ata Eloheinu anu banecha li'ata Avinu anu avadecha li'ata Avinu anu be'alecha אנו הזפנים, ואתה רחום וחנון. אנו קשי עורף, ואתה ערך אפיים. אנו לעוון, ואתה מלא רחמים. אנו קצה עובר, ואתה ושנותיך לא יתאמו. אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, תבוא לפניך תפילתנו, ואל תתעלם מתחינתנו, שאין אנחנו הזפנים וקשי עורף. לא מה לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, צדיקים אנחנו ולא חטאנו, אבל אנחנו חטאנו.
משפטיך טובים ולא שווה לנו, ואתה צדיק על כל הבא עלינו, כי אמר עשית ואנחנו הרשענו.
We continue now on page 237.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באונס וברצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביודעים ובלא יודעים, ועל כולם אלוה סליחה. חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש ובכזב, והחטא שחטאנו לפניך בכפת
We read together, we have sinned against you through denial and deceit, and we have sinned against you by taking bribes. We have sinned against you by clever cynicism, and we have sinned against you by speaking ill of others. We have sinned against you by the way we do business, and we have sinned against you in our eating and drinking. We have sinned against you by greed and oppressive interest, and we have sinned against you through arrogance. We have sinned against you in everyday conversation, and we have sinned against you through conspiratorial glances. We have sinned against you through condescension, and we have sinned against you through stubbornness. For all these sins, forgiving God, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement.
לפניך בפריחת עול, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות.
Stubbornness is twice. Gossip is twice. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בתשומת יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בתימהון לבב.
For a minute, and just in a few moments we will be turning to Avinu Malkeinu on page 243. Some people have difficulty pronouncing their ch sound. The guttural ch is found in Hebrew, Yiddish, German, and Spanish, but not in English. Many Jews and non-Jews say Hanukkah instead of Hanukkah, or challah instead of challah. This mispronouncement is not much of a problem because everyone knows what's meant. But on Yom Kippur, however, not being able to pronounce ch properly can lead to misunderstanding. For example, reciting things like the Al Chet prayer that we just recited. Instead of saying Al Chet, what did they say? Al hate. How many persons do you know who carry all hate in their hearts, who never forget and never forgive, who remember every little thing that angered them, and who treasure their bitterness? I have been at funerals where the children of the deceased did not speak to each other and sat separately. Whatever the argument was about, they could not say al chet. They could only pronounce al hate. I've been to a wedding where the parents of the groom did not come because they did not approve of the bride. What do they say on Yom Kippur? Do they say al hate, or do they say al hate? On Yom Kippur, as we ask God to forgive us, we need to make it first and foremost also to forgive others. We must resolve bitterness if we can, that we have toward a family member, and anger that we may have as a result of a quarrel or any misunderstanding between ourselves and a former friend. We must learn how to correct our speech problem. We all need speech therapy. We must learn to stop saying I'll hate and begin to say al chet. Where there was anger, we hope that we can move toward forgiveness. Where there was bitterness, we hope that we can move toward understanding. And where there was hate, we hope and we must move toward atonement. We rise now as the ark is opened for Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha Avinu Malkeinu Ein Lanu Melech Ela Ata Avinu Malkeinu Asei Manu Chadesh Aleinu Shatov Avinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Achazirenu B'tshuva Shlema Lefanecha Avinu Malkeinu Shelach Refuah Shlema Lecholei Amecha Avinu Malkeinu Zochreinu B'zikaron Tov Lefanecha Avinu Malkeinu Kotveinu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim Avinu Malkeinu Kotveinu B'Sefer Geula V'Yeshua Avinu Malkeinu Kotveinu B'Sefer Parnasah V'Chalkala Avinu Malkeinu Kotveinu B'Sefer Zechuyot Avinu Malkeinu Kotveinu B'Sefer Slicha U'Mchila Avinu Malkeinu Atzmach Lanu Yeshua B'Karov Avinu Malkeinu Arim Lanu Yeshua Avinu Malkeinu Shema Koleinu Chos Rachem Aleinu Kabon Avinu Malkeinu Aseh Leman Chaim Lo Lemanenu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masi Aseh imanu Tzedakah
Turn now to page 246 for Kaddish Shalem.
Yikra v'yikra shemei Rabbah. V'yamar divra kilu tevim lichmachu teva chayachonu v'mechonu chaydacha beit Yisrael. V'agala v'yizman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yehi shei Rabbah mechora. V'yoram v'yorei Amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yikor v'yitruman v'yinasei v'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yidalel shmei nekudesha. V'le'ela v'le'ela mikol שמחתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמיר בימה ויאמרו. אמן. תתקבל צבאותינו ובאותינו לכל ישראל, קודם המוכנים ישמע ויאמרו. אמן. שלום רב אמין שמיה, וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל ויאמרו. אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו וכל ישראל וכל יושבי תבל ויאמרו.
Aleinu, page 246.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה יוצר בראשית, שלא מצאנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, לגאול עלינו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומשל יקרא בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו, ושכינת זו, נתקן עולם המלכות שלנו רבנים עזרנו. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמים תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
We'll turn now to page 247 as those who are observing a yard site and those who are in mourning get ready to recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. As we've been saying all the way through the holidays, it's a very poignant experience to stand and to say Kaddish at the Yamim Noraim, when we're talking about starting a new year and moving forward from the experiences we've had in life in the last year. But we lit the yard site candle here and shared some thoughts. So for all of you who are saying Kaddish, for all of you who are observing a yard site, and for those of you who will tomorrow just remember people you love when we do Yizkor, Yom Kippur is a special time when many of us can feel the souls of our loved ones in a very special way, in a positive way, that they're here with us. And the traditions that were in our families, if we had them all the way through our lives, we have memories of the people that we love being with us and celebrating and observing and teaching us. So we'll say Kaddish Yatom, but everybody here in the congregation will say Amen. And with your voices, you will cast a wonderful, wonderful cover over all of us. one that knows that there's love in this place, and memory in this place, and beauty in this place. Page 247. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yama divrach hirutei v'yamich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba Mavorach li'olam l'ol me'omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu, la'ela la'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'yama v'yimru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Do we have announcements?
Good.
Our president.
Good evening, everybody. Shana Tova, welcome. Good to see you all here. Listen, first off, I'd like to thank all of you for your continued participation and support of this wonderful community. I'm sure, when you listen to the words of Deborah Risch, you also can, think back on how many times this community has embraced you all. So, following the high holidays, please consider a meaningful contribution to our synagogue. You will be receiving emails concerning the annual appeal, and this will help you guide with your participation. Just a couple notes of housekeeping for tomorrow. Services begin in this room, in the sanctuary, at 8:15 tomorrow. Torah service is approximately 9:30, and Yizkor will be starting approximately at 12:30. Then we'll meet back here for Mincha Ne'ilah at 4:40 in the afternoon. If you're looking forward to a more intimate experience, please join Rabbi Alexander and Stuart Zimring at 11 a.m. in the Dieber Chapel for study, prayer, and discussion of the Yom Kippur service. Also, the wellness room will be open all day long. If you haven't visited our wellness room yet, it is across the courtyard. It's an open space that is available to you to just kind of hang out and veg during the day. But then at 3:15, we invite you to join Hillary Oberstein as she takes us on a journey of peace through a curated yoga session. So that's at 3:15 tomorrow. And then, as always, at 2 p.m. in the DFC, we will have our afternoon discussion sessions, which will also be live streamed. May you have an easy fast. Gemar Chatima Tova.
Do you want to introduce the song?
On page 248 is the Psalm 27, which is the psalm for this season. I'm just going to start the psalm, and then we shall break into song together about 7 or so lines down. Achat Sha'alti. It's also in the transliteration on the other side of the page. So 248. Le David Adonai Urivishi Mimi Ira
Adonai mas chayai mimi achai.
Adonai Ota Avake מצפים לראות בטוב אדוני בארץ חיים. קווה אל אדוני, חזק ויאמץ ליבך, וקווה אל אדוני.
We'll turn now to page 250 for Yigdal. Before we do Yigdal, I just want to add to Adam's announcements that if you didn't get a bag to put goods in to bring back for the food pantry on Rosh Hashanah, we don't want you to go out grocery shopping tonight. But if you want to take a bag or bring some canned goods or other goods that you already have in your pantry and you know you can't eat tomorrow anyway, so you may as well bring a bag in and help the food pantry. So now we'll go on to Yigdal and head toward the end of the service.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח, ניצב ויהנה היטב במציאותו. אחד ויחיד כיבודו, נעלה וגם אינסוף ויחדותו. אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו. אדון בכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומעמיד את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהב, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יחליף אוהב ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו. צופה ויודע שתערנו, מעמיד לסוף דבר בקרתו. גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו. ישמח לקצרים בשבילנו, לפדות מחייבת ישועתו. מתים יחיה ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדיין שתהילתו. מתים יחיה ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדיין שתהילתו.
There's a Peanuts cartoon that's perfect for Yom Kippur. In the cartoon, Lucy walks toward Charlie Brown, who's standing on the pitching mound. Uncharacteristically, she tosses him the baseball and says, "Sorry, I missed the easy fly ball. I thought I had it, but suddenly I remembered all the others that I've missed." and the past got in my eyes. The purpose of all of these communal prayers that ask us to focus on transgressions that we have committed isn't to wallow in the past or grovel before God. It's to acknowledge our past, deal with it, ask forgiveness, and move ahead into the next year of our lives. All of us have some difficult life experiences that are hard to shake off. In Judaism, the hope is that on these days, we'll be able to leave those past actions behind, start the new year with a clean slate, and act differently from here on in. Lucy's experience in the cartoon reminds us that only if we choose to allow it, the past can continue to influence our present and more problematically taint our future. Take these moments seriously. They're a gift of our tradition. This is what God wishes for us beyond I'm sorry. Work through your past year tonight, even after you leave this sanctuary, and tomorrow, and then move into your future instead of letting your past get into and stay in your eyes. I wish you a Gemar Chatima Tova and a nice rest this evening.
Gemar Chatima Tova.
Oh, okay. You were fine. I couldn't see. That's on. Our mics are open.